Let me begin with how grateful I am to the university's governing council for the honor of being awarded this degree, and to President Merrick Gertler, whose opening remarks so clearly set this convocation in its larger context. The tremendous opportunities in front of today's graduating class are a reflection of your leadership, Dr. Gertler, and your twofold commitment, on the one hand, to connect the U of T more deeply to this dynamic, culturally diverse city, and at the same time, to strengthen the international partnerships that will ensure tomorrow's leaders, our graduates, will have global impact. The top 20 ranking in U.S. News and World Report last week was simply another confirmation of global recognition for the University of Toronto. I'd also like to express my gratitude to Tiff Macklem, whom I've known and had the pleasure to spend time with for many years. The same qualities that earned Tiff wide respect when he was a central banker and a champion of Canada's economic prosperity are ensuring the success of the Rotman School's commitment to transformative learning, research, and public engagement. And one more special thank you to Rose Patton, who has been at different times in my working life a close colleague, a trusted partner, a mentor, and always a good friend. It is our great fortune to have her serve as a leader of this university, and I'd like to say congratulations, Rose, on your installation yesterday as our Chancellor. To all of you graduating today, congratulations and thank you for including me in your convocation. There's one fundamental goal I know you share with every graduating class: to get your degrees as quickly as you can and then be set free to celebrate with your family and friends. Well, speaking for the class of '78, I completely understand, so I'll offer just a few parting thoughts as you conclude a period of intensive learning and return to your careers to apply the knowledge that you've gained here at the University of Toronto. You differ widely in backgrounds, fields of study, and future directions, but you do have some common traits. First, the decision to work toward a higher degree. Whatever route you took from undergraduate studies, you came here as adults. In many cases, you've already had a chance to gain serious hands-on experience. In many cases, all of you have returned to this university committed to pursuing knowledge, and your outlook has only broadened and matured. Now, as you think about what comes next, one thing is certain: how much promise the future holds. When I arrived at U of T, the business school wasn't the well-funded institution you know today. We shared a building with the School of Social Work, or perhaps we were tenants in their building, which would explain why most of our space was in the basement. But the quality of our education was outstanding, and thanks to the vision and generosity of Sandy and Joe Rotman, the school that now bears their name has over the years been transformed. What the Faculty of Management Studies of the late '70s did have in common with today's Rotman School of Management was extraordinary teaching. It shaped my thinking and prepared me to deal on equal terms with every challenge I encountered in my career. And I hope that's a feeling you will share. Because the fact is, whatever degree you're receiving today, you've been given the keys to opportunity. You can be pretty confident you'll find secure, rewarding employment in the modern economy. I'm sure many of you have done so already. And you will have many choices in what you do, in where you work, and what kind of lives you build. Your new knowledge and skills will help define the organizations you join and the disciplines or professions you pursue. I felt the same way. My class was part of a generation, there's still about 70 million of us in the North American workforce, who came of age between 1960 and 1980. And while we believed in ethical behavior and personal responsibility, especially in how we conducted ourselves as we pursued professional success, we were entering the job market at a time when the agency theory of management, as espoused by Milton Friedman, was gaining wide acceptance. In Friedman's view, a manager's primary responsibility was to conduct business solely in accordance with the desires of the owners. This encouraged the belief that maximizing total shareholder return was the only job of management. Well, we've subsequently been reminded as a society that the interests of all stakeholders, as Tiff said, customers, employees, the community at large, as well as shareholders, are critical to the creation of value that continues to accrue over time. It's not a coincidence in the aftermath of a financial crisis and the evidence of moral hazard as a contributing factor that the best-run companies now are adopting clear standards around social license, with a defined set of environmental, social, and governance criteria that guide their actions. This in no way implies that companies can thrive without growing revenue faster than their competitors or constantly strengthening their margins by being more productive. But what it does call out is that a winner-take-all approach to total shareholder return will ultimately destroy the long-term prospects of the firm. I know these considerations are a part of the framework that you're already using as you think about problems and make decisions. However, your class and the generation of which you're a part, and interestingly, it's about the same size as mine, about 80 million people coming of age between 2000 and 2020, has another layer of complexity to wrestle with as you inherit the leadership of the companies or institutions that you're going to join. After 3 decades of relative prosperity, the concentration of wealth, which has created extreme disparities in income, is beginning to divide our society. The information platforms that are expected to drive future growth and prosperity use vast amounts of data in ways that we don't fully understand. At risk is our privacy and our capacity to think and act freely as individuals rather than as captives in echo chambers of our own tribes. Well, there are big challenges everywhere you look. They're going to require your disciplined analytical thinking, including the integrative thinking skills you've been building when you were here at Rotman, as well as your ability to distinguish fact from fiction. These are strengths that will help you to shape better informed discussion and debate. And from the perspective of 4 decades, here's what I can offer. First and foremost, yes, we face some daunting problems, but there is no problem that's too big to solve. Tackle them the same way you've tackled the challenges on the road to academic success, a step at a time, confident that each one, large or small, will move you towards your objective. You also know the search for answers means engaging with other people who are asking the same questions and may disagree with you about the answers. Healthy debate is not about separating winners from losers, nor is it an invitation to diminish or demonize individuals who happen to hold opposing views. A proper debate explores both sides of an argument to arrive at truth, or whatever honest people are willing to agree is true. This is the privilege of your education. You've seen firsthand where thoughtful, evidence-based study can lead, if not to certain answers, then to workable solutions. In my view, no generation has been better equipped than yours to grapple with the world's toughest problems. So let me close by saying, on behalf of everyone who's come together this morning to salute your success, we can't wait to see where you will lead us next. As you pursue your vocations with the same drive that has brought you here today, we know you'll also be engaged in the bigger issues that are shaping our collective future. Thank you and congratulations again.